welcome back to the channel. In our previous videos, we have seen what HTML is, we have seen HTML syntax, and we have even seen how to write the HTML code. So before we start, let's see some quick considerations before we start. If this is your first time ever writing code, please don't get overwhelmed. It's 100% normal that you will not understand everything at the beginning. Just don't think, I guess coding is not for me. Everyone has been there, and you too. So as we continue, you will get to understand these concepts. Another consideration is you need to code along with me. You will learn zero HTML and CSS skills by just sitting and watching me code. You really have to write code yourself. If you want the course material to stick, take notes on code syntax, notes on theory concepts, and notes on everything. This is when the material is going to stick to your mind. Try all the coding challenges. Try to do your best, but if you get stuck too long, watch the solution. Don't beat yourself up if you can't figure it out. Just rewatch the lectures that were covered in the challenge, try to understand them better, and move on. Before moving on from a section, make sure that you understand exactly what was covered. Take a break, review the code we wrote, review your notes, review the projects we built, and maybe even write some code yourself. If you have an error or a question, start by trying to solve it yourself. This is essential for your progress. If you can't solve it, check the question on Google. On platforms like Stack Overflow, just paste the error you are experiencing, copy the error, and then paste it on Google, and you might get the solution from there. If that doesn't help, you can ask the question in the comment section on YouTube under that particular video you are watching. You use a short description, and you can paste the code on codepen.io and get a link to the CodePen, and you paste it in the link such that I can have a look on the code. Most importantly, have fun. It's so rewarding to see something that you have built yourself. So if you are feeling frustrated, stop whatever you are doing and come back later. So with that, let's see some HTML basics. So in this lecture, we are going to see some HTML basics. And by the way, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to support the channel. I would really appreciate. Like the video, thumbs up if this is working for you. Please don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate. So let's start with HTML basics. And in HTML basics, we are going to start with the headings. Headings in HTML are similar to headings in other types of media. For example, in newspapers, large headings are typically used to capture readers' attention. Other times, headings are used to describe content, like the title of a movie or an education article. HTML follows a similar pattern. In HTML, there are 6 different headings or heading elements. Headings can be used for a variety of purposes, like titling sections, articles, or other forms of content. The following is the list of heading elements available in HTML. They are ordered from largest to smallest in size, and each one is used for main headings. All other small headings are used as subheadings. So we have from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 to H6. So let's see how they are written in VS Code. Okay, let's start by going to our desktop. In our previous lecture, you know this folder. So go to your desktop or wherever you created the HTML CSS course project. Open it, and inside you will look at you see we have test01. That is the folder we created in our previous videos. So I've created there a folder called HTML fundamentals. And then in the HTML fundamentals, I have 2 files. One is HTML lesson 1 starter and lesson 1 final. So right now, don't worry about the lesson 1 final. Just create lesson 1 starter, or you can just simply call it lesson 1. And then right click on it and open with VS Code. If you can't find this option activated to open with VS Code, you can also right click and then see where they are saying open with. So in that drop down, select VS Code and then open with VS Code. Okay, so here in VS Code, you can see clearly we have here our lesson 1 folder open. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new file by clicking on this icon. Create a new file by clicking on this icon called index.html. So first, before we go to headings, let's see how we can write the HTML structure that we saw in the previous video. So we saw the HTML structure and we said it looks like this. And it starts with the first line, which is doc type HTML. And we looked at what is the meaning of doc type. We said it declares what the version of HTML you are writing in. So, and it is followed by the HTML tag that wraps. And we said HTML is divided into 2 tags, the head tag and the body tag, as you can see here. So in the head tag right now, I'm just going to write there the title tag only, and we'll be seeing other contents as we move throughout the course. And in the title tag, I'm just going to write HTML basics. Okay, and we said all the content that goes here in the head, they are not visible on the page, but they provide useful information to the browser. and everything that is visible on the page is written in the body. So in the body, I'm just going to write H1. So you must be familiar with this syntax of less than, tag name, greater than, then content. We saw it in our previous videos. If you have not watched our previous videos, please check in the link in the description and watch those videos first and then come back to watch this one. And by the way, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel to support the channel and the work to continue being produced. Thank you so much for that. So continuing, I've written H1 and I've given it a text of headings. But before we continue with headings, let's first configure our VS Code so that we write a more productive code. So let's look at what we call extensions. Extension is a small piece of software that adds more functionality to another software. So in this case, if you are familiar with Chrome extensions, that you can install a Chrome extension in your browser to add some more functionality to it. So they are the same here in VS Code. We install extensions to add more functionality to VS Code or to write more productive code. So let's see some of the extensions I'm using, such that your code is looking exactly like mine. I know right now for you in your VS Code, the code might not be looking like mine. So let's see how we can configure VS Code. Let's see how we can configure VS Code so that your code is looking more like mine. Okay, so go here on this icon and then click on it, and then it will bring this search extension panel. And from there, let's first search our first extension called Prettier. Click on this first one. So Prettier is a code formatter. It helps us to write, to format our code to look nice. And we are going to see how it does that. So just click on this install button. I know for me it is showing uninstall because it is already installed. But for your case, it's going to bring install button. Click on it and wait to finish install. And then it will turn here to disable and uninstall. That means it has correctly installed. Okay. So let's see our next extension. So the next extension is called Image Preview. So click on this first link. So the image preview helps us to see the image in the gutter or on Hover. It tells us we are going to be seeing how this is so helpful if you are importing or linking images. So just click on this install. For me, it's showing an install because I already have it. So you click on install and wait for it to finish installing. So the next extension we are going to see is material icons. The next extension you're going to see is called material icons. Click on this first link and then click on install. Material icons are the icons that shows on the files you write. If you write HTML or if you create a folder, it displays very beautiful icons to show what your files are in respect to the files you are keeping in with that extension. So just simply click on install and then click on this set file icon theme. It will bring up this panel that says select file icon theme, and simply click on material icon theme. Right? And then click on that, and that will be it. Okay, so let's look at our next extension. and it is called Monokai Pro. Click on it. Monokai Pro is a professional theme that we use to write I normally use to write my code in. Monokai Pro is actually a paid theme, but still you can use it on a free version. But those ones who want to pay, you can pay for it. But me, I'm still using a free version, and it is very okay to use that version. It has no problem. So just simply come and click on the install. So click on it and let it to install. After finishing the installation, and then you can click on set color theme. So when you click on set color theme, it brings this select color theme, and just simply click on Monokai Pro, and that will be it. So the next extension we are going to look at is called Live Server. So Live Server, it helps us to launch the development environment. So just click on this install button and wait for it to install. So when it finishes, now Live Server helps us to load our web page from VS Code, instead of going to the folder and open with the Chrome. It cuts all that short, and you just simply click on it and it opens your code in the browser direct, and it helps us to keep on wherever you do some little changes in your code, it compiles the code again and re-renders it in the browser. We are going to see it is a very nice extension. So with that, simply just click on settings icon down here, and then from there click on settings, and then let's do some small configurations before we move to the code. So search here file on save. You can search there in the search you can search file on save, and then it will bring you the text here. The first thing you do, make sure that file format on save is checked, and then scroll down. Then there is what is saying autosave. Make sure that autosave is set to on focus change. Change whatever is there and change it to on focus change. I think that's it. So remove the file on save, and then you can search for material icon. You can search for theme. So when you search for theme, the first one, they say there is a color theme. So make sure that your color theme is set to Monokai Pro, like mine. So you set it to Monokai Pro. You might be having others. And then also the icon theme, make sure it is in material icon theme. So those are the two things we want to do on theme. And with that, let's look at setting your font size. So just type here font size, and then on the font size, make sure you have a big number like 18 or 22. Me, I'm having 32 so that you can look at the code clearly, but you can set it to something like 18 or 20 to make sure you are seeing the code properly, the one you are typing in the editor. And with that, just simply click on this icon and we are back to our code. Just close these tabs. And then we are back here to our code. So we are talking about headings, and we already written like the first heading, H1. So I'm just going to write here H2. I'm just going to write here H2 and put there heading 2. And then let me change this one to heading 1. So on the next line, write H3, which is heading 3. And then on the next line, write H4, which is heading 4. Then on the next line, write heading 5, which is heading 5. And then you can also write heading 6. So I've written here from heading 1 to heading 6. So let's use our extension. Just write here a comment, headings. And by the way, if you are wondering what I've written here, why it is grayed out, it is called a comment. A comment is a piece of code that is not going to be rendered on the page. So it's like a sort of notes. So you can write some notes within your code that can help you understand more what you are doing. And that piece of code, if you write it in that syntax, it will not be seen, or it's not going to be run by the VS Code. So that's why it is grayed out. The one that is in red is going to be seen by the VS Code, but the one that is grayed out is not going to be seen. That's what you call comment, and it is written in that syntax. Okay, so let's use our live server extension. So if you look down here, there is something saying go live. Down here, there's something saying go live. So click on it, and it will open your default browser. And voila, you can see we have here the headings from H1 up to H6. And heading 1 is the largest. H1 is the largest, and H6 is the smallest. So I'm coming here, I'm just going to put another heading called headings, such that we can look at them properly. And look at it, I've just written headings. Even if you don't save, guys, simply go back to the browser and you will see that everything was saved. Everything is saved and everything is rendered, minus us going to the folder to open our file from there. Okay, and with that, those are the headings.